Yo, what's good? Welcome back to another episode of A Shot of Rose. Today we talk about what is love and why y'all keep trying to be fake deep. Let's get it. Yo, welcome back to another episode of A Shot of Rose. I know what y'all are thinking. This is odd because boy drops on every Monday, but as recently as of Monday, I decided that I would be dropping 2 episodes a week. So you can now catch your boy every Monday and Thursday right here on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify, wherever you like to get your listening pleasure every week, as I will be dropping 2 episodes just to stay up to date, you know what I'm saying? That way I'm not trying to fit too much into one show, and that way I can, like, you know what I'm saying, get y'all multiple content throughout the week. We'll see how this goes. If it goes good, you know what I'm saying, I'll keep it up. If, you know, I feel like I need to scale it back, we'll go back to 1 time a week. But for right now, going forward, I'll be dropping 2 episodes a week every Monday and Thursday. Make sure you set your calendars, you know what I'm saying? With that being said, go ahead and do me a favor. Hit that like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. All that helps with the algorithm, and I would greatly appreciate it. With that being said, though, how's everybody doing so far this week? I'm recording this on Wednesday, so today is hump day. Tomorrow, you know what I'm saying, boys, will be 2 days to the weekend. I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to the weekend. Boys have been super stressed at work this week already. We've been super busy, but it's kind of what I've been hoping for, right? Because honestly, it's been boring as shit up until this point. So being busy is actually a good thing, because I've just been sitting around twiddling my thumbs. With that being said, though, let's go ahead and get into our first topic here. So our first topic up is from my boy Sleepy Joe. This is by way of CNN. This just says Biden to unveil administration's plan to spend $37 billion to reduce gun crime. It said President Joe Biden on Thursday will announce his plan to reduce gun crime, outlining during a trip to Pennsylvania how his administration would spend the $37 billion in his 2023 budget request to support law enforcement and crime prevention. According to a White House fact sheet, Senate administration officials, Biden's Safer American Plan details for the first time how the funding in his 2023 fiscal year budget proposal would be used to fight crime. The proposal, which does not include an allocation of existing funding, still requires congressional approval. The proposed plan, according to the officials and fact sheet, would help police departments hire and train an additional 100,000 police officers, invest $3 billion to clear court backlogs, establish a new $15 billion grant program for cities and states over the next decade to help them prevent violent crime, and ease the burden on police officers by identifying non-violent situations that may merit a public health response or other responses. It would also invest an additional $5 billion in community violence intervention programs. Additionally, the plan aims to take additional common sense steps to reduce the proliferation of firearms through proposals, including increasing funding for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and urging Congress to pass legislation to strengthen background checks and ban assault rifles. Okay. Yo, man, as I get older, man, I feel like I'm getting wiser, but also I feel like we're just really not being heard, man. I don't know who in the world asks for more police officers, but it's not us. You know what I'm saying? It's not black people. I just don't understand any plan ever that seems to think that throwing more police officers at the problem solves the solution. You know what I'm saying? First off, crime really isn't predicated about having enough police officers or not. Crime is predicated off of people's ability to take care of themselves. The number one correlation between crime and, you know what I'm saying, and the people that commit it is the fact that they're poor, in poverty, income, guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? If you making $80,000 a year, you're not out here stealing and robbing people. I mean, you might if you got an addiction to crack or some shit, but if you're doing quite well in life, you're not out here committing crimes. You have no reason to do that because you have basically all of your needs met. You know what I'm saying? People who commit crimes are people who struggle every day to know where their next meal is going to come from. People out here selling drugs, people out here doing all of these things, all of that stems from the fact that they don't have the resources necessary in order to take care of themselves. So the easiest thing to do is to go out here and steal and rob. You know what I'm saying? At least to them. That's how they make sense of it. I ain't saying it's right. I'm definitely understand that it's wrong, but that's the reality. I don't understand why they keep trying to throw things at, you know what I'm saying, as far as the only way that they seem to try to figure out how to take care of crime is by throwing more police officers at the situation. or, you know what I'm saying, ramping up like hours and shit for police officers to patrol or different areas and shit like that. Don't get me wrong, crime is going to always exist. Police officers are always going to be necessary. Okay. So when we talked about defunding the police, we didn't talk about defunding the police as far as getting rid of police. Some people said that shit, but the vast majority of us understood that defunding the police meant taking money away from resources that didn't need that money that they were using it for, and putting it back into the community and putting it back into their training so that they could be better police officers. You get what I'm saying? Like, I can tell you right now, this plan wouldn't even be necessary if immediately the United States government stopped selling weapons and tactical gear to police officers, because then states wouldn't have any money to waste on shit like that. So then they would have no choice but to hire more police officers if you believe that's necessary, or put that shit back into training so that way they could be better at their goddamn job. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand why Joe Biden feels it's necessary to take this on, because I know his approval ratings is low. You know what I'm saying? They said some shit like that about it in another article I read. But oh fucking well, man, make the tough decision. Like, tell states. States just went to court to fight back, so that way they could say, hey, here's my thing. States' rights should have the right to abortions. Well, they need to keep that same fucking energy. Okay. If your state is having trouble being safe and taking care of shit, guess what, motherfucker? Handle that shit yourself. You know what I'm saying? States want it, you know what I'm saying, to have the right to choose their own, you know, whatever, right? Even I just seen an article recently that Ted Cruz was saying that, you know, they're trying to go back to court to take away the universal right that was given to gay people, same-sex marriages. You know what I'm saying? He wants to attack that shit now. Okay. Because he said that like that wasn't up to the Supreme Court to make that justification. You know what I'm saying? That should be left up to the state. Well, hold on now, because now y'all not gonna not take this grant or this money from Joe Biden in order to take care of crime. You know what I'm saying? If Joe Biden pull up and he say, yo, I want to give you 10 million, you know what I'm saying, to put toward police officers and resources to help combat crime. Guess what? They gonna take that fucking money. They ain't gonna say, nah, we don't need the federal government. We leave that up to the states. We gonna handle it ourselves. I'm saying Joe Biden need to keep that same fucking energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to say, yo, here's the thing. States wanted rights back. Y'all wanted to handle shit yourselves. Well, guess what? Handle that shit yourselves. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Say it with your chest, man. Too many times they out here worried about about politics and worry about, you know what I'm saying, approval ratings and shit like that. Like, nah, man. Say the shit with your chest. Say, yo, y'all out here wasting a shit ton of money on tactical gear being bought from the United States government. Take that money back and do something else with it, man. Don't be afraid to get dirty and say like, yo, man, here's the thing. Y'all made all this ruckus, carried on, you know what I'm saying, made a big deal out of everything. And now y'all want me to hand money to y'all in order to take care of problems that should be being handled at the state level, at the local level. If the city of Houston, where I stay, city of Houston, Texas, is having an issue with crime, guess what? It's up to the mayor to handle that shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, if the mayor goes to the president and says, hey, I need money for this, or goes to the federal government and say, hey, we need money for this because we just don't have it in our budget. This is what we want to do. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? But Joe Biden shouldn't be taking this upon himself, because he need to be keeping the same energy that these states been having. And so the thing is if states want to take care of shit, guess what, motherfucker? Handle that shit yourself. Okay, I just had to get that rant off my chest, man, because honestly, that shit was irking me. And it's just one of those things that like, I'm very passionate about. I'm big on like, yo, here's the thing, man. The issue with policing isn't, you know, necessarily about not having enough police officers. It's about proper training and there being a culture among police officers that's us versus them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying it's not the American people's job to fix the relationship with police officers. It's their job to fix that with us. You know what I'm saying? And putting more police officers on the street isn't going to solve that if the system is already broken. Fix the system. You change the way the perception of police officers are, and then maybe we can start to combat other things. But anyway, I kind of got off topic anyway, because my whole point of all this is that none of that shit is the issue. The issue is money. You know what I'm saying? And people being broke, people being poor. You know what I'm saying? And when you at your last end and you at your last resort, you will do anything in order to survive. That's where crime comes from. So address the issues of poverty in America, and then you can start to address a lot of the crime. Like almost overnight, that shit will go away. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all. So y'all know what it is. Now it's time to get into some of this stuff that we seen on social media. So I got another think piece for y'all, man. This came up, you know what I'm saying, from the spiritual word, you know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and pull that up here real quick and we can go ahead and talk about it here. Okay, so like I said, I got this from the spiritual word. Shout out to them, you know what I'm saying? Because they be dropping a lot of dope topics. But this shit here says, you will never find true love when you use money in other people's relationships as a standard for what you want from men. Some of you are just annoying with your obsession and entitlement over people's money and relationships, just misleading and confusing people. Now, I find this to be very interesting because we kind of live in a climate now where people virtually always need a foundation before they can get into a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Just to even start talking now. Let's get this back up here real quick. Just to even start talking now, you have to have a certain foundation. You know what I'm saying? The baseline has to be you make $100,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? The baseline has to be you got to be 6 feet tall. You know what I'm saying? You have to have all these attributes, all these external things outside of the relationship that don't really have no merit or any bearing on how well the relationship goes. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with men is how we look at women, right? Like you gotta be a certain weight, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be a certain age. You can't have too many kids. And don't get me wrong, I kind of understand the kid thing because that was like one of my things as well when I was dating. But at the same time, right? Like we always are kind of looking for an external thing in order to even begin a relationship. So my question is, if you always need an external motivation for the relationship, are you really in it for love? And I know that seems like, well, you know, you're not happy unless you got this, unless you got that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be unhappy. And I get all of that. I totally understand why money is necessary in order to be happy. But when you really think about it, right? If money is where you started, you know what I'm saying? Then you never know how you and that person is going to react if they don't have any money. I tell people this all the time. Like me and my wife literally came up from nothing. You know what I'm saying? We were in college. We were broke. We were struggling. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment that I was sharing with my little brothers. My mom was getting social security checks because our fathers passed away. So we got social security checks from the government. She was giving me their social security checks to cover their half of the rent. We were in a 2-bedroom apartment. We had a 19-inch TV monitor sitting on a, sitting on a luggage that we were streaming Netflix through off of my phone and playing my brother's PS3 through that little computer screen. That was literally our life for like a year, you know what I'm saying? And then she eventually graduated. She got a pretty decent paying job. And then we got to a new apartment. So when I tell you that like me and my wife literally came from nothing, we came from nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like we had to build this thing that we have today. And every time you hear me talk about my wife, I tell y'all that my wife is my best friend. She is the person who I adore the most in this world. You know what I'm saying? Now I got 2 babies. So I adore them equally as much, but my wife is the person who I adore more than anybody in the world. She's my best friend. I mean, we laugh together. We cry together. I mean, we do literally every single thing together. And the issue that I have is, and I wouldn't say it's so much an issue. It's just that my concern is that like, I'm a big believer in Black love, right? Black love is something that like a lot of time gets talked about and people want to experience it. But when you have the opportunity to try to engage in it and experience it, y'all create all these external things that you need in order before you can even experience it. And Black love is different than any other love because you can say to a certain extent that it's almost like trauma bonding, but have you ever like really sat down with your significant other and thought to yourself like, hey, like y'all could talk about shit from like when you was a kid and y'all can relate to the exact same shit. Y'all could talk about seeing the exact same movies. In no other culture, very, very few other cultures do you have that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like all our parents had the same goddamn blanket, you know what I'm saying? Remember the meme where they were showing like the little blanket set or whatever? Me and my wife saw that shit, we instantly start cracking up because her mama had it, my mama had it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's certain things that come with being in a relationship that like used to bond us together and used to mean more than just needing money and needing certain credentials before you start dating. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, at the end of the day, I think to myself like, yo, like love is really the root of everything that we strive for in life, right? Like if you don't have love, if you don't have happiness, without love, you don't have anything. So it's all like, y'all not even giving yourselves a chance at love because you need an external motivator in order to maintain the relationship. If you can't date a man that doesn't make at least $100,000 a year, that means that in reality, that man has to always maintain that level of financial stability in order for you to love him. why would he even want to be with you? Why would he be faithful to a woman who knows that all she cares about is how much money he makes? And if he can't maintain that level of financial stability, then she may potentially leave. She might stay around for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because you do develop some type of bond. But at the end of the day, she still might just say, hey, I'm getting the fuck out of here, man. Kicking rocks. But I can't stress this enough, man. We got to get back to understanding, like, what is love? And love to me is the ability to know that my significant other always has my back, that she's here for me, that when I'm concerned, she's concerned, that when I have something to say, she listens. When she has something to say, I listen. At the end of the day, if you don't have somebody that has your back, then you don't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? The richest person in the world, the richest people in the world are always struggling to find that shit because they never know if the people that are in their circle are only with them because of the money that they have. And so it's all like, if we know this, if we're constantly aware of the fact that, like, yo, even the people with the most money in the world are usually unhappy because they can't trust anybody around them, then why is that always something that we're like striving for? And again, I can't stress this enough. I understand, man. I've been broke. I've been there. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to not be able to go out to eat, to not enjoy nice things. So I understand that being like some level of qualification in order for you to maintain a certain level of happiness. But honestly, that can't be like the foundation or the baseline of where you start from. You know what I'm saying? We got to get back to dating. We got to get back to understanding that, like, Black love is love that is predicated on your ability to understand each other and communicate on levels that, like, really no other level of love that I've seen in any other culture can really relate to. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I look at my wife is my best friend. Like, we talk about shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? That is harmonious to who we are as a couple. And really, at the end of the day, that's all I wish for people to strive for. And honestly, if we can get back to that, then the future is definitely bright for us. But until we get to that, man, we just gonna keep going downhill. All right, man, I just want us to do better, man. That's it. I ain't asking for a lot. That's it, man. But before we get up out of here, before we wrap it up, let me go ahead and talk about this last thing here, man. Let's go ahead and get into it. Man, when I tell you that this is some of the goofiest shit I've ever seen in my entire life, I am so sick of y'all niggas getting on Beyonce's internet and saying goofy ass shit and thinking y'all can get away with it. Let's go ahead and read this shit here. This nigga was making a post to his wife. His name is Solomon Buchi. I hope I'm butchering his last name because he's a fucking idiot. But he says, "You're not the most beautiful woman, neither are you the most intelligent woman, but like I've chosen to never find perfection in anyone else. I put my gaze on you, and with that commitment, we would mold ourselves for ourselves. Our perfection is in our commitment." Stating that you're not the most beautiful, intelligent might sound like it's not a compliment. Yeah, it is, nigga. That's exactly what it sounds like. Anyway, but it's a realistic base for real love. Acknowledging that my woman isn't the best, but I'm not looking for the best. I was looking for you and I found you. There's no best. There's just someone you choose and see the best in them. This to me is the real love, not the one that consoles itself in the Fox reality that their partner is the most good looking, most intelligent, most successful person in the world, that's disingenuous and doesn't give room for love to thrive. I love you. I can't even say their name, so I'm not gonna butcher her name. I'm committed to you. I miss you so much, but my love for you is stronger than distance. Okay, man, for starters, if I gotta give this man some level of credit, I guess I could go ahead and say that there is disingenuous. You can be disingenuous a lot of times in relationships when you over glamorize how your relationship actually is and make it seem more perfect than what it is, make your partner seem more perfect than they are. But the reality is that, like, if your partner isn't the best to you, then like then why are you with them? Again, man, I can't stress this enough. Like, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but my wife is the best. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all annoyed by that. I don't care if y'all don't care to hear it anymore, but like, that's how I see my wife. Like, I don't wake up in the morning and think, well, you know, my wife isn't the best, but my commitment to her is so strong that like, that's what we're going to base our love on. No, bro. Like, that's no. Are people perfect? No, nobody's perfect, but there is somebody perfect for you. The reason why no one can ever be perfect is because we all have different variables and different things about us that make us unique. Okay. And so what's perfect for somebody may not be perfect for somebody else. I may not be good with someone who has strong personality because I'm more chilled and laid back. You know what I'm saying? So which me and my wife were very copacetic and we work out together in that way. But maybe somebody else needs somebody who is strong-willed, you know what I'm saying, to give them that push whenever like they're feeling down or they need motivation or something like that. And so they're with a partner per se that is like, you know, super, yo, get up my nigga, let's go, you got to get it. They need that external motivation from that person because that is what gives them energy. That energy from them gives them energy. So therefore that person is perfect for them. That person would be perfect for me because I'm chill, I'm laid back, we're copacetic. But with that being said though, like this was just an entire, man, I can't even put it into perspective. This was just a man literally taking, you know what I'm saying, shots at his wife, trying to sound deep or philosophical with no merit or any basis for anything that he was saying. He was saying a whole lot of nothing. Okay. He had one small section where he talked about people being disingenuous by making everything seem perfect and more beautiful than what it is and all that other shit. But at the end of the day, like your love that you have for your wife isn't based on, you know what I'm saying, just some simple ass commitment that you made to each other. No, it's based off the fact that like in your eyes, your wife is supposed to be perfect for you. Okay. Not perfect in the sense of she doesn't have any flaws. Her body is the most immaculate body that was ever designed by God. And when it was pushed out of the womb and grown into the full mature adult that it is now, it's the definition of perfection. That's not it. But her body's supposed to be perfect for you. Okay. She is supposed to be perfect for you. You don't have to have a perfect partner because perfection is based on the eyes of the beholder. So if you're sitting up here trying to say that like, yo, my wife isn't perfect. Okay, cool. But is she perfect for you? And I'm just annoyed and tired of you niggas getting on the internet saying goofy ass shit for likes and for clout. I mean, and at the end of the day, that's really it. He even had to address like, before y'all come for me, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? You sat up here, you degraded this woman and disrespected her on Beyonce's internet for no fucking reason other than to try to say something that you felt like you was being philosophical about. When the reality is, if you just hate your wife, man, and you just gonna be committed because you made vows under God, then just say that, my nigga. Because the rest of us, we fucks with our wife. You know what I'm saying? She perfect to me. I love every inch of her. Ain't nothing wrong with her. You know what I'm saying? And if there's ever a situation down the line where we have to address some shit, well, then we'll talk about it. But again, like, I'm not out of here like looking at my wife saying, you know what I'm saying, she ain't perfect, but you know, fuck it, we made this commitment. That's exactly what that shit sound like. You just sound like you said an over convoluted version of that. You know what I'm saying? She ain't perfect. She ain't the most beautiful. She wouldn't have been my first choice, but you know what? I made this commitment to her and we gonna find a way to perfect this commitment. Boy, if you don't sit the fuck down somewhere, like that ass. Like, I'm tired of you niggas, man. Y'all need to find something else to do. Get the fuck off the internet. Wallow in your own thoughts. Keep that shit in your own head. Okay? Don't nobody want to hear that bullshit, man. You know what I'm saying? Real niggas out here love their wife and think their wives are perfect for them. And one day, hopefully, you'll understand that shit. But right now, at your age, you looking goofy. And honestly, if y'all seen this man pictures, go look him up. He ain't got no right disrespecting that woman like that. Talking about she ain't the most beautiful. Boy, I'd have smacked the shit out that boy. Anyway, y'all, that's all that I have for y'all. If you tuned in, man, I appreciate it. Again, I know this was a curveball, man, but I should have waited until Sunday and made an announcement for episode of Monday. But fuck it, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches, baby. So again, do me a favor, if you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Like I said, you can catch me anywhere on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify if you prefer the audio version. With that being said, we're gonna go ahead and sign out of here, man. It's your boy, Mr. Imperator Rose. Again, we out.